All right, so I wanted to make a video. This is, I think, one of the most difficult things that I have had to learn. So I thought I would make a video to try to make this pretty simple. And I think I figured out a pretty simple way to do it. If you're going to engrave pictures of people, whether it be on stone or wood or whatever it is, you're going to have to prep that picture. A rule of thumb is the better the picture, the better the image. I mean, that's just common sense. However, if you're trying to make money doing this, or if you're just trying to do it, whatever it is, for whatever reason you're trying to do it, people are the worst picture pickers, picture takers, and picture senders in the entire world. They will send you bullshit pictures, terrible Facebook images, too cropped pictures, terrible resolution pictures. You're just going to have to figure out how to make the best of a bad situation. So this client wants this engraved on a small piece of granite stone that she's going to attach to a tree with some words. So I'm going to set this up like I do most of my granite images. I'm going to make it just kind of a headshot. But we have to fix it up. We have to get rid of all this bullshit. And I'm going to show you right now how to do it. So first thing I'm going to do is take the background out, and the easiest way I know to do that is with the magnetic tool. Now, and the picture's bad, especially if they've got some crazy hair like this. This really, I didn't even need the magnetic tool for this. I could have just used the eraser. I'm going to, but as a rule, you will be able to use it. Select and inverse, and then the delete key. That's going to get rid of everything in the background. Well, in this picture, I didn't get rid of much. We're going to go to select and deselect to get rid of our dotted line and go to our eraser. On my eraser, I want to make sure that I am set to about 50% hardness. So it'll give me a little feathered edge, and I can start trimming this picture. Okay. I don't like any hard edges. So unfortunately, this is just a really fucking terrible picture. It really is. But you cannot teach people how to get a picture. Also, something that has helped me a lot and that I just recently learned is with the cap locks off, and if you hit the bracket keys, you can make your brush bigger and smaller without having to go up here and change it, which is awesome. Also, if you want to move around, you can hit the space bar. That gives you a hand. Now, when you left click and move the mouse, you're being able to move around the picture, which is also great. So I'm going to come in here, and this also needs to be done while the picture is still in color. It is very difficult to do in black and white. You just can't tell the differences between the backgrounds and the person sometimes. So it's just easier to do with color on. All right, so the background is gone, and this is as good as the image as we can get, which is terrible. It's not what I like. I like to have a little more torso going on there, but it is what it is. All right, so there's our picture. Now we are going, the color is not terrible on this picture. But with any prepping for engraving, we want everything even. We don't want any dark darks. We don't want any white whites. This is going to be a series of black and white dots. Whether you're dithering or halftones, that's basically what it is. Image, mode, grayscale. Now we're going to put it in grayscale. Merge the layers, that's fine. Discard whatever's left. There you go. Now, filter, camera, raw, filter. Try it again. Zoom in a little. Okay. Maybe back up a little bit. All right. The very first thing that I do in camera raw filter is take the clarity all the way up. I take the shadows all the way up. Okay. So it's, I'm also on this exposure button, I'm going to just barely nudge it. Be really easy with this. I just want to bring in a little more light. Okay. I'm going to be easy with the contrast. Sometimes you'll go all the way up, but you don't want to just jerk it. Okay. So I'm going to move it up about 3/4 of the way, in between half and done, and I'm going to hit OK. So what I'm always trying to do with these is I basically want these to look almost like a pencil sketch on really bad pictures. That's what I want it to look like a pencil sketch. So I'm going to take this right back and run it through the same filter again, camera raw filter. Okay, clarity all the way up, shadows all the way up. See, that picture is just absolutely horrible. I mean, it is horrible. We're going to be easy with the contrast. I'm going to actually bump that back down, probably to about medium. And I'm going to see how white that is right there. I don't like that. So I'm going to take the whites key and I'm going to move it down to try to gray that up a little. Now I can use the exposure and go up a little bit there. And this one, I'm actually probably going to run through the raw camera filter 3 times. Filter, camera raw. Now on the, if you do run it through a 3rd time, don't just slide your clarity all the way up. Oops, because it will make it rough. That's actually okay. But we're going to pull the shadows back down. See, the shadows turned it into that. Which is really not terrible. It looks terrible. You would look at that and go, oh, I don't like that. But, you know, you're going to get all those lines. And you can actually adjust your clarity down a little. And shadows. Contrast. And turn the whites back down again. And maybe bump the exposure. Okay. So now when you look at this, what does it look like? It looks like a very talented artist drew that with a pencil. And that's what I want to see. Okay. So now I'm going to put this on a small piece of granite. So I want to adjust my image size. So 8.5 by 11 paper. So we were going to go, let's just go 4 inches on the height and we're going to have to adjust the canvas, but that's no big deal. I set it in a corner, and I hit Control T, and I'm going to hit the Shift key and drag it from the bottom until it gets to about where I want it, right there. Actually make it a little bit smaller. Enter, and I'm going to bring it down to the bottom. Now I've got right here, when I go Image, Canvas Size, it's going to tell me that the height is 4 inches. Obviously I don't need 4, so I'm going to just guess and say 3.75. Okay. And can I live with that extra space? Yeah, it's okay with me. Now I'm going to save it, File, Save As. I'm going to save that as a PNG. And we'll just drop it in the downloads because once we're done with it, it's trash anyway. Save. Okay. Now, we'll go to LightBurn. There's one I've already done. So we can just get rid of all of this. And we'll go to Import right here. And there it is. All right. So the way we want to set this up, I'm going to be using halftone. On really good 300 dpi, 304 is fine. Halftone. Cells per inch on Home Depot granite, I'll be doing 65. On really good tile, which is what I'm going to be using today, 75. I go up 10. So that's just my rule there. Halftone angle stays at 2, 22 pass. Everything's good there. Speed, 500. Max power, 32%. Minimum power, 15%. All right, everything looks good there. We've got it center dotted. Now just sizing it. What size do we want? All right, so we're going to put this on an oval. It's going to have a saying on it. I'm measuring the oval now. It is 7 inches long and 5 inches wide. So what I like to do is just make an oval. We'll go to width, unlock, width, 5 inches. Nope, that's wrong. 7 inches. Height, 5 inches. Let me make sure that's right. 5 and 7. Actually 6.75, but close enough. So let's do this. For this example, I'll put her, oh shit. I'll tilt it up. And we'll put her on her like this. And about the middle of the stone. I think that's good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just delete this because I don't need it. I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay, I know I'm good. All right, so we're going to go connect the laser to the computer. Show available networks. Mirror 7, connect. Back to LightBurn. We're going to send this. Everything is where we want there. We're going to send the file. Call it LightBurn is fine. Alright, so here's our little black oval stone that we're going to put this on. I measured across and kind of down ways and to find my center spot, and using a grease pencil I put a little dot there. Just a point of reference. Sometimes when you get to the laser you're like, oh, I'm not sure where the middle is. So it's not an exact science. I'm sure there's a mathematician out there that's going to say, oh, I got a protractor, I know how to find the middle of that. I'm not that worried about it. I'm going to use the frame to make sure it is about where I want it. So that's the black stone. When it comes to focusing the laser on doing these granite stones, now I tested all different ways, all different powers, all different speeds, all different focuses. I normally am focusing my laser right here, right there. Now what I notice on doing the engraving is that if I step it down one step closer to the stone, so I'm normally sitting on the step before the 5, which is 9. If I step it down one more step, I get a much better image for whatever reason. That works. So when I focus this thing, I'm going to focus it a little closer than I normally would. So there is my normal focus. That would be my normal focus step. This is a little closer than I would normally focus. There we go. I'm going to put that dot very close to my white dot to what I think is the very middle of the image. And I'm going to go File, check your tile, make sure it's in the middle. And now you're going to hit the frame button. Basically, when that's framing, I'm looking to see if the distance between the red laser is about the same on both sides, and it is. I'm going to close this and get her started. See how the image comes out. I mean, you saw that drawing and thought, oh my gosh, look at all the detail in the hair. I mean, that picture was terrible. Now I'm going to take in and show you how I put white paint in it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is clean it, and I like to just use regular rubbing alcohol. And the only reason I am using rubbing alcohol is because I want to get down in it, but I want it to be dry very quickly. You can use soap and water, which is what I used to do, but then you would really have to make sure it was dry. So I like to just use rubbing alcohol, and it'll get all the stuff off, but it'll dry instantly. For paint, I use One Shot. And when I started, I asked a bunch of different guys what they use for this type of stuff. And I tried a bunch of different ones, and One Shot works the best. Now, I don't even touch the can without wearing rubber gloves. This is the stickiest paint I've ever seen in my life. When you buy some One Shot, if you buy some One Shot, buy the One Shot remover, because I've used automotive paint thinner and I can't get it off of my hands. So the One Shot remover works the best. I keep mine in a jar. What happens is this stuff is so kind of thick and sticky that it gets around this groove and the lid won't go back in right. Any kind of air will make this One Shot get like a big skim thick layer on it. So I actually keep it in a mason jar, which been working pretty good. Now when that gets down low, it'll get that little skim in it, and I just take a weeding hook and pull it out. So just a little bit of paint. You need to make sure you get it even. You don't want sections of it to have more paint or less paint. And you don't have to be afraid to use the paint. You try to keep it off the edges if you can. But you can pile it to it. And you'll see why in a second. So I put it on there even. And find me a clean spot on the shirt. It's just a disaster waiting to happen. And I just start buffing with the clean spot on the shirt. A new clean spot. And if you get one of these that has a little nick or something in it and you don't know it till you start applying paint, of course, you can always take that paint thinner and clean that out. All right. Now, a lot of times to cure this paint, you can see how that paint makes that thing pop. A lot of times I'll cure this by setting it under a heat press for a little while, putting it in the oven for a little while. You just have to be careful you don't overdo it. It'll get really brown on you. Just kind of enough to dry it. If you let it sit overnight, you're typically good. So just depends on what all we've got going on. But anyways, that's Granite Memorial Stones A to Z. See you guys next time.